Hello everyone, this is Let's All Game. I'm your host, Saino. It is August 6th, 2016, and with me as always is Naylock.
Hey there.
Yeah, so we are coming at you in a different format today. Basically, I've gotten a new job. We've had a lot of things kind of change in our lives and stuff like that, but we're back here to give you more video content and more content in general with this sort of podcast style news every day, basically. So again, it is August 6th, 2016. We got a couple topics that we want to talk about. Naylock, why don't you go ahead and go off with our first topic?
All right. I played Black Desert Online a little bit, and lately they had a huge blow up over a potential patch in the future saying they are going to allow all cash shop items to be sold in-game for the in-game currency of silver.
So why is this such a bad impact? Like, usually when you have free-to-play games, free-to-play style games like let's say like Runes of Magic, for example, being able to purchase cash shop games with in-game currency is usually looked upon favorably. But there's a huge blow up on Black Desert about this. Why is that?
Well, it's because pretty much every item can be sold or basically traded through the market. There's no kind of no drop system or no trade or anything you really have to earn on your own. If someone is willing to sell it, they can sell it on the market and you can buy it. So theoretically, if you had, just unlimited amounts of silver, you could buy all the best items if they got sold.
Oh, I got you. So basically, cash up items on the in-game market means that they're able to exploit the system and sell in-game items like the cash up items on the market to then get silver to purchase actual in-game items that you can't get on the cash shop.
Correct. Yeah, it's like 2 degrees from pay to win. Like, yeah, it's not directly, you don't pay cash for an item, but you pay cash for a cash up item, sell it, and then use that to buy an item.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of Sony Exchange, right? Like, where they had those exchange servers. You could basically just pay to win everything, and they didn't really care because that's what they made those servers for. But the entire economy of Black Desert, every single server, I think it's just one server, right? Well, it's a few now.
It's 3 servers, and there's like channels within those, but you can swap between the channels.
Right.
So it's really 3 servers. I think that's North American.
Yeah, so now they're just going to be all having to stick with this sort of economy. That kind of. What's your opinion on it? I guess.
They really don't have a high-end PvE like other MMOs. You might think like raiding or lots of instance grouping or anything like that. It's really you're just grinding to their high end is like PvP war sieges. So it's weird that you could buy these better upgrades that are through PvE content to be better in PvP. I don't know. I guess it's still a problem since you're using cash to be better at the end game, whatever the end game is. It just happens to be PvP on there.
Oh man, yeah. So I mean, like I was playing Black Desert Online for a while as well, and it did kind of get to the point to where I was like, what is the goal here? What am I working towards? It didn't seem like there were dungeons or raids or anything like that. It was mainly like a lot of PvP stuff. But having them change the economy like this, it really depends on I guess the direction. Maybe they feel like they had to do it to get more money, right? Because the game wasn't doing as well as they were hoping it would.
Well, it's buy to play, so it's just they just have to keep adding ways to make more money as it keeps peaking and dropping. So like they peaked out probably a while ago, and then it's now we're dropping, so we're gonna add this to make more money, and they're probably not worried about getting more customers at this point. So even if this does turn off current players or people who are thinking about playing, it's not really a loss for them. Anyone that does it, they're gonna make money.
Yep. Alrighty, so why don't we move on to our next topic? We're talking about No Man's Sky for PS4. Now, a couple of days ago, some players, there were a couple stories where someone had spent $1,500 on eBay to get the game early. And they've since beaten it, apparently. Gotten to the center of the universe. It took them about 30 hours. And everybody was like, well, that's kind of a bummer, right? Because now this dude has his game early, and what's the point of playing it now to try and get there first? Well, apparently, Hello Games has stated that the No Man's Sky servers will be wiped on Sunday. That's this coming Sunday before the game's release. Actually, yeah, it's basically tomorrow. And well, I guess that gives some hope on, hey, he's not going to have a head start, but it's unfortunate that some people have gotten the game early and already know what to expect.
Yeah, that does ruin a good amount of that new experience, especially, and those people are still going to have a heads up on how the game plays practically as they're playing it, so they're still going to have a good head start on that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Are you familiar with No Man's Sky?
A little bit. It's the what is it? It's like randomly generated huge universe type thing.
Exactly. So with that in mind, I'm curious, will they really have that much of a head start if they are basically starting in a completely different location, right? Because basically, whenever you start the game, you are thrown in a completely unique area. So the same resources that they had there may not be available for them because it's randomly generated.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Especially not as much of a head start compared to a game that would be static, but there's still that like learning curve of exactly how every little thing works.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't expect to get to the center of the universe immediately, but who knows if they actually experience the full thing since the game wasn't launched. Who knows, really.
I'm surprised they didn't have something in their back pocket like, oh, well, this is going to be something completely new for launch, so even if people got a hold of it, this is even new stuff.
I think maybe that is the case, just it wasn't turned on, right? Because the game wasn't live.
Yeah, that'd probably be true. They might have been working in some sort of testing universe that was really small even. Oh,
that's certainly true. I mean, 30 hours doesn't seem like much for a game that's been said to be to last you a week or something like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on to the next topic. Final Fantasy 15. So it is, I mean, have you seen the marketing launch that Final Fantasy 15's been on lately?
I saw that. I thought it was a trailer, but I guess they're coming out with like a prequel that's a straight to Blu-ray movie.
Well, actually, it's not straight to Blu-ray. It's actually going to be in theaters. It's a full-length movie. Final Fantasy 15 in theaters. They already have a 6-episode anime done. They have a manga coming out. They've had 2 demos now. They had the promotional Dosuke demo that came with Final Fantasy 0, and they also have the Carbuncle type little trial game thing that you can do right now on PS4 that was free. But so they're doing a lot of promotion on this. They have a lot of basically development put into this. This is going all the way back to Final Fantasy 13 versus series that we were looking at back in the day. But here, Square Enix this week reported earnings for the 3 months period ending on June 30th. And things are looking out. The Japanese publisher saw its revenue rise to 21.1%, which while operating income jumped by 13.1% for the quarter. So essentially, they're saying all of this is due to Final Fantasy 15.
Just people being hyped. It's pure hype stock.
Well, yeah, I mean, like they have they have so many pre-order incentives. They have amazing. But Square Enix, I have to applaud Square Enix because every time they do a collector's edition, it is always on point. It is never full of just crap or useless things, right? They had the Final Fantasy 15. With the it was like a $280 package that comes with a actual, like, I think it was a 16-inch statue or something like that. Again, my details are fuzzy there, so please don't blow up the comments. I'm just vaguely remembering something, but that's impressive, And I mean, they have Rise of the Tomb Raider coming to PS4, which is also going to give them a boost. Final Fantasy 15 comes out on September 30th, and Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out in October. We don't know the exact date, so just really cool stuff. I'm glad that, I mean, you know, for all the money that they're spending, this is their like this is their present day Final Fantasy VII. That's what this is. Yes, they're making Final Fantasy VII the remake, but this is their you know, present day Final Fantasy VII, where they're throwing everything they have at it. And I mean, I've never seen such a huge advertising push from another Final Fantasy game than 15.
Yeah, I was thinking about that before, about how for a while people were saying they were going to make a remake, or they really wanted one, and they were being kind of standoffish about it. And I was thinking about how they probably didn't want to do that because that would have been their biggest thing, even when they're coming out with like other stuff. But now that they got 15 on the going to be on the shelves, and I was like, okay, now we can make a Final Fantasy VII remake, because 15 is going to be huge, and that's just going to be like more hype for the company and the brand, instead of being having a remake being the goalpost, the top end of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and speaking of Square Enix, you know, they have Final Fantasy XIV that's still going really, really well, and the expansion pack for that is expected to be announced in October at their fanfare. So, yeah, if you're going to that, it's the Final Fantasy fanfare thing. Usually takes place in Las Vegas. Then you'll see the announcement of the expansion pack firsthand. It's going to be hype for sure. You know, like I remember when they announced Puppet Masters for Final Fantasy XI, that the whole room blew up. You know.
Oh yeah.
So you're back in 14 now, aren't you, Nick?
Yeah, I just started up again about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago at this point. And when I stopped, I still hadn't hit the cap, but I just hit the cap maybe a week ago. And I don't know, I'm still playing, like, we're well into this, and I'm still playing catch up, and there's tons of people around still doing all the stuff I'm doing to play catch up. Like, it's so, there's not like, oh, we're only doing this one group dungeon that's the high end and only rating. Like, everyone's still doing everything that's been out since the start of that expansion, and I just think that's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and that's the great thing about Final Fantasy XIV. You know, it's on every single platform you could think of. It's on PS3, it's on PS4, it's on PC, it's on Mac. And, you know, I think with the next expansion pack, it's actually being removed from the PS3. So it's about time everybody updates anyway, because the PS3 version is not great. I mean, it is for what it is, but I mean, if you're trying to play it well, there's only so much the system can handle.
Yeah.
You know, but I think Final Fantasy XIV, I'm still playing it, you know, every now and then. But I'm so busy, you know. Whenever I do get in, though, I can jump into a couple dungeons, reach my cap for the day, and log out. You know, I don't have to sit there for hours looking for a group. Now that they have cross-server matchmaking, which is incredible, you know, I think they're going in a great direction. I can't wait to see what they're coming out with next.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, I can't even. I don't even know. I can't even imagine what they could come out with. I'm still having fun with all this stuff.
Yeah, and you're still catching up.
Yeah. I'm still getting one class caught up. Everyone's like, "What other classes you got?" Like, none. I'm still working.
Yeah, exactly. And the Moonfire Fair is out now too, so that's something to keep an eye out for as well. So if you used to play, you know, go ahead and sub. You know, in 2 months? It's in October. Their fanfare. You'll be finding out what the new expansion pack is, and it's worth being caught up whenever that comes.
Well, they'll probably get a good spike when that announcement comes out too.
Absolutely.
Once they tell everyone what it's going to be.
And they've also said that they're not going to require they're not going to level lock content like they did with Heaven's Ward. You know, for Heaven's Ward, you needed to be at the cap, story completed, before you got into Heaven's Ward, because of the requirement of the quests, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to story lock any more expansion packs, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. But why don't we move on to our next topic, which is Ark Survival Evolved. So Ark Survival, I have a lot of friends that play that game. I personally I can't do survival games anymore. They take up way too much of my time.
Me either.
Yeah, no, I mean, I played DayZ for 8 hours straight one day, and that was like, it was like living, you know, I have other things I need to do, you know? So Ark Survival Evolved reached 5.5 million players. Okay. And that's pretty awesome. They were not expecting the success, but to go along with that, the free version of the game is going away on PC.
All right.
Yeah, so what I mean, I guess they're just saying like, hey, yeah, we got 5.5 million players. For those people that want to keep playing, pay us. You know, that's
well, I mean, if it's good and they must be confident, or they must need more money, which might also be true. Both might be true.
Yeah, I mean, basically, so a free version of the game was called Ark Survival of the Fittest, and it was released on PC earlier this year, but just this week, Studio Wildcard announced that it was being removed as a standalone game and rebundled with Survival Evolved. So it's basically, they took the free standalone game and they're merging it into the other one. I guess it's like a tutorial thing, because Ark Survival is kind of like an MMO. And they're going to be doing it that way. So they also have Survival of the Fittest being planned for PS4 and Xbox One, but that's no longer the case because it's being canceled. So Survival Evolved should be coming to PS4 soon, but we don't have a release date.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it more, but any kind of survival game, I just started brushing off because, again, I don't have the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really don't. I don't know what it is. You know, DayZ was the last survival game that I played, and it was fantastic for what it was. But I mean, it's just a time sink. I can't do it. And I say that, but we play MMOs like crazy, right? Yeah. that sounds.
Well, I guess it would be more about what kind of play sessions I could get away with, opposed to actual how much time commitment overall. I mean, it's more of an issue of, can I get on for an hour, or am I going to be committed because I started doing something and I'm stuck to the game for the next 3 hours, or else I'm not going to get anything out of it. Right.
Yeah, no, that's actually a valid point. Going back to 14, since that's the MMO that we're both playing at the moment, not to fill this up with that, but like I said, I can jump on, do a dungeon, do a raid even, and have, at max it's going to take me an hour and a half if we're slow as heck, right? Because it's limited to a 90-minute timer.
And that's a huge leeway. Most group dungeons take like 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, if that, and hard modes take like 15-20 minutes. So really it comes down to, I can get into 14, I can craft something, I can make some kind of progress somewhere along the way and feel good about myself, or feel good about the time that I spent with that. Speaking about the Xbox One, we were talking about that with the Ark Evolved. Xbox One S is out now, and it's coming out with a bunch of favorable reviews. The original Xbox One had some problems with hardware and stuff like that. I actually had an original Xbox One, and I ended up getting rid of it because it was huge. First off, the power brick you can't fit anywhere, and I just didn't like the way that it performed. This new one here, overclocked GPU, the power supply is built into the unit. Overall, it's about 40% smaller. The case itself isn't 40%, but when you include the power brick that was also there and it's now inside the system, it's about 40%. And some of the games run a little better as well. What about you? I know you're not too much of a console gamer. I know you have a PS4 now, after it took a while, but do you think having something like the Xbox One S, which is I think the cheapest one is priced at $200, something like that, would that be enticing to you?
Not really. I mean, even if I had an Xbox One, I probably you would be even less inclined to get it, unless I was really having a problem with it. Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine it is actually for people who don't have one already.
Yeah, I would say so. Microsoft themselves were saying that, Phil Spencer, he was saying, hey, we're not looking to sell you on this Xbox One. We're looking for people who want a better experience to go to the Scorpio whenever that comes out. But yeah, speaking of new consoles, we also had Nintendo NX. And it's been announced that there's going to be a Zelda there, a Mario there, and a Pokemon game at launch on the NX. And there's a lot of details out how it's going to be a portable system with detachable controllers that you can then hook up the system to your TV and play that way. So what do you think about the NX and this whole idea? I'm pretty freaking stoked about it the more I hear about it.
Oh, they've been pretty good about new hardware, to be honest. So, and I really like the the Wii U. I thought was really nice.
Very,
So,
very underrated system, the Wii U.
yeah, I was. It's so weird. Like I started figuring stuff out. Like I don't even need the TV to play some of these games. This is so awesome.
I mean, and they're all fantastic games. You know,
Yeah.
I have every single exclusive that came out on the Wii U, and I mean, they're just phenomenal. I could be happy if the only system I had was a Wii U. I would be completely happy with my purchase.
Especially in terms of consoles, which is the thing they like to tote the most. I got a PC, but if I could only have one console, it'd be the Nintendo line of consoles.
Yeah,
every
because
time.
you're not going to be playing those games on PC.
Yeah, it's just all exclusives of some of the best IPs around.
With that said, how do you feel about your PS4 purchase?
I'm happy with it. It lets me have access to any console games. It's usually console exclusive, and yeah, it does everything I want. It's not like awesome. I'm not gonna rave about it, but it's a very serviceable console.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's probably the top console out there right now in terms of power, but I still think the Wii U was completely underrated. I can't believe it bombed the way that it did, because that system really is phenomenal. It sucks to see good things like that go away. Come March, it's done with. Because NX will be out by then. But yeah, I mean that's the first time we've done a news show kind of like this, podcast style. So if you guys liked it, be sure to like the video. If you didn't like it, thumbs it down. Leave some comments, some feedback, how you'd like to see the show, this little sort of daily thing done. And yeah, we'll come back with you with some video content as soon as we can. But this seems like it's a little easier for us. We can have a discussion, get together every day at least, and bring you guys some daily content. We are working on a list of games that we still need to contact, and kind of like work on. And we're trying to change up how we come towards a game. We still know that our Anarchy Online was our worst video. We understand that. We respect that. We also get a lot of feedback on the Secret World, how we weren't working on the story mode, even though that's what's really a big focus of that game. So it comes down to, what do we want to show and how long of a video do we want to make? We don't want to waste y'all's time, but we just want to come at it in a perspective that's fresh for the player, right? They don't know anything about the game, and they're just trying it out for the first time, and they're trying to, and let me be very clear, we are pretending when that happens. Okay, we are pretending that we have never played a game before and trying to come from the perspective of someone who just is jumping in for the first time and has never played it before. Okay, that is, me and Naylock are not stupid. It is easier for me to play off of him. So like, I'll be playing the game and I'm asking him questions, and that's how the format works. I ask the questions and he gives the answers. That's how that format works. So I'm trying, hopefully asking questions that the player who is interested in the game is asking as well. Naylock, did you want to say anything on that note?
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, the format's a good way to do it with the question answer thing, because a lot of people they forget what they know about the game and what other people might not know. So they get lost in a kind of their own heads. They need to explain things more evidently about what they're seeing.
Yeah, it's easy to just look at something and think that, oh, this is super simple. Why didn't you just figure this out? Because you're used to it,
Yeah.
I think that's going to do it for this video here. Please like and subscribe if you're, liking this. And yeah, for Naylock, this is Saino. This is Let's All Game. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.